You think rank is a ladder. It is not. It is a meat grinder with better office furniture at the top. From the outside, the U.S. Army looks clean. Crisp uniforms, salutes, flags snapping in the wind, a machine built on order, purpose, honor. From the inside, it is paperwork, exhaustion, hierarchy, and the slow realization that every stripe and every bar just buys you a different flavor of misery. At the bottom, you are disposable. At the top, you are owned. And every step in between sells you the same lie. Just make the next rank and life finally gets easier. It never does. It just gets more expensive when you fail. So this is your life as every U.S. Army rank. From the private sweeping rain off concrete to the general gambling careers, budgets, and bodies with a clean smile and a rehearsed voice. You want the whole ladder? Fine. Start at the bottom. Private. E1. You are not a soldier yet. You are a receipt. The Army bought your time cheap. Roughly $2,000 a month in base pay, maybe a little more depending on the year. And suddenly your body belongs to schedules written by people who do not know your middle name. You wake up before your brain turns on. You stand where told, run where told, eat when allowed, shut up always. You make stupid mistakes because everyone does at this stage, and every stupid mistake becomes public theater. Your boots are wrong, your locker is wrong, your face is wrong. You are a walking unfinished product. The toll is simple. Humiliation, sleep debt, the slow demolition of the civilian instinct that told you your life was yours. This is the first trick of the system. They break you, then tell you to be grateful for the rebuilding. Private, E2. Now you know just enough to be useful and not enough to protect yourself. You make slightly more money, still bad, still thin, still not enough to make the sacrifice sound noble when your knees ache and your bank account looks like a crime scene. You carry things, clean things, move things, lose weekends. Learn that voluntary usually means mandatory with better marketing. You start noticing who gets crushed and who gets spared. It is not always the weakest. Usually it is the ones who still think fairness matters. The toll here is psychological. You realize effort and reward are not married. They barely know each other. Private first class, E3. You can finally do your job without someone holding your hand. That just means they hand you more garbage. Your pay creeps up a little. Maybe enough to afford bad takeout, a car payment that should terrify you, and the illusion that life is stabilizing. It is not. Now you are expected to perform. You are still low enough to get dumped on, but high enough that mistakes are no longer adorable. They are evidence. Evidence that you are weak, lazy, a liability. This is where a lot of people learn the Army's favorite economy. Pay in pride, collect in silence. Specialist. E4. Now the machine gets clever. Specialist is where they let you feel competent. Dangerous move. You are the worker bee with enough skill to keep the circus running. Base pay maybe around $30,000 a year before allowances, give or take. Not terrible on paper. Still not enough for the wear and tear. You know the shortcuts. You know which sergeant is bluffing. You know where the bodies are buried metaphorically, sometimes almost literally. Everybody leans on you because you can actually do the job. But the power is fake. You have responsibility without real authority, expectations without insulation. You are the Army's favorite kind of labor, experienced, underpaid, and replaceable. This rank burns people out because competence becomes punishment. The better you are, the more work finds you like flies finding rot. Corporal. E4, same pay grade. Completely different trap. Now you are a junior NCO, a tiny sheriff in a county built by wolves. You are expected to enforce standards on people who were your peers 5 minutes ago. You get the blame from above and the resentment from below. It is the leadership version of being stapled between two moving cars. Your money barely changes, Your stress absolutely does. You learn a beautiful Army truth here. Authority is not power, it is liability wearing a badge. Sergeant, E5. Now you have soldiers. Now you stop sleeping right. Your base pay improves. Fine. A little breathing room, not enough to compensate for the fact that another adult's stupidity can now ruin your week, your record, or your career. You counsel, correct, track, report, babysit. You become part parent, part mechanic, part prison guard, part therapist with no training and no time. You tell one soldier not to marry the stripper, another not to drink and drive, another not to implode because his girlfriend left. Then you go home and stare at your own ceiling like it owes you money. This rank teaches you that leadership is mostly paperwork stapled to panic. You are still close enough to the ground to get dirty, but now you also get blamed when the floor collapses. Staff Sergeant, E6. This is where the Army stops asking whether you can lead and starts demanding results. The pay is better, enough to have real bills, real family pressure, real consequences. You are no longer broke young. You are broke with dependence. You manage teams, training, readiness, evaluations, personal disasters, field problems, last-minute changes cooked up by officers who discovered urgency 5 minutes before closeout. You are the backbone, which sounds flattering until you remember backs are what break first. The physical toll is cumulative now. Bad knees, bad back, bad sleep. The psychological toll is worse. You are expected to care deeply without taking anything personally. That is like being told to hold fire in your bare hands and not get burned. Sergeant First Class, E7. Now you are senior enough to know exactly how rotten the plumbing is. The Army pays you decent money by normal standards. In exchange, it rents your nervous system. You mentor NCOs, advise officers, run operations at the ground level where bad plans meet reality and reality starts biting. The younger soldiers see power when they look at you. What you actually have is accountability, endless accountability. You are responsible for the mission, the maintenance, the morale, the standards, the discipline, and somehow the weather too. This rank is where cynicism hardens into survival instinct. You stop believing in clean victories. You believe in getting through the week with minimum blood loss. Master Sergeant, E8. Now the Army has turned you into management. You have knowledge, years of it, expensive knowledge, bought with cartilage and funerals and missed birthdays. The pay is solid, enough to look respectable from the outside, enough for civilians to assume you have stability. Stability is a funny word when your phone can still ruin dinner. You are less in the mud now, more in the systems, personnel, training cycles, readiness numbers, metrics, spreadsheets, endless neat boxes trying to capture messy human failure. You start seeing how much of the Army runs on performance art, briefs designed to impress superiors, numbers massaged just enough to survive inspection. Everybody pretending the machine is healthier than it is because honesty is a career-limiting disease. First Sergeant, E8. This is the enlisted throne nobody wants until they have it. You are the company's enforcer, priest, and undertaker. Same pay grade as Master Sergeant. Much uglier life. You live in everyone's business because if you do not, disaster moves in. 1 DUI, 1 assault, 1 suicide attempt, 1 affair, 1 missing weapon, 1 catastrophic weekend, and suddenly you are standing in a fluorescent office at 2 a.m. explaining chaos to people who expect control. You wear authority like body armor, but it never quite covers your throat. This rank devours your personal life. The company becomes your family, which sounds noble until you remember most families are exhausting, and this one comes armed. Sergeant Major, E9. Now you are institutional muscle. Your pay is strong. Your title is respected. Your humanity becomes optional. You advise commanders, shape standards, police the culture, carry decades of Army memory in your head like a haunted archive. But here is the rot. The higher you go, the more your job becomes translation. Turning commander ambition into enlisted suffering. Turning enlisted anger into acceptable language for command teams. You become the shock absorber for an entire ecosystem built on urgency, ego, and controlled chaos. Everybody thinks you finally made it. What you actually made is a permanent reservation inside the machine. Command Sergeant Major, E9. This is Sergeant Major with the volume turned all the way up. You are now the public face of enlisted discipline for bigger formations, sometimes battalions, brigades, even higher. You travel, inspect, correct, influence. You spend your life in meetings about people you do not have time to know individually and crises you are expected to solve symbolically. The pay is the least interesting part now. You are no longer working for money. You are working because identity has fused to rank like scar tissue. The toll is spiritual. You cannot be everyone's voice and remain your own. Second Lieutenant, 01. Now we cross into the officer side where the uniforms get cleaner and the panic gets hidden better. You have a gold bar and almost no idea what you're doing. The pay jumps. On paper, it looks good. Finally, decent salary, allowances, the kind of numbers that make family members say you are set. But money is bait. You are responsible for soldiers while being quietly mocked by everyone who knows you are still half-cooked. Your platoon sergeant saves you from your own ignorance. Your troops study your face to measure whether today will be stupid, and it usually is. Your toll is terror, not loud terror, professional terror, the kind you swallow behind a briefing slide while pretending your confidence is real. First Lieutenant, 02. Now you know enough to be dangerous. You have experience, small scars, some credibility, still not enough control. The pay is better, so are expectations. You are no longer the harmless rookie. You are supposed to manage operations, lead formations, and stop screwing up like a child. This is where officers learn the dirty secret. Competence is not rewarded with peace, it is rewarded with more exposure. You become fluent in the Army's two dialects, one for the commander, one for reality, Captain. 03. This is where it gets serious. Company command, real authority, real visibility, real chances to fail in public. The money is good now, respectable, middle class, maybe more with allowances. Still not enough for the hours, the pressure, and the legal moral circus of being responsible for everything your company touches. Training failures, property losses, discipline cases, readiness reports, families, safety, morale, mission, optics, especially optics, because command is not just leadership, it is theater. You are expected to project certainty while juggling chaos with gasoline on your hands. This is one of the Army's most brutal jobs. Everybody wants command until command actually starts chewing. Major 04. Welcome to the spreadsheet graveyard. The feel-great officer life begins here, and with it comes the slow murder of any fantasy you had about heroic leadership. You make solid money, good salary, good benefits, senior enough to look successful. Then you realize your day is briefs, staffing, coordination, calendars, and death by PowerPoint. You are the middle management artery, nothing glamorous, everything essential. You translate commander intent into endless administrative blood flow. Majors age strangely, fast, quietly, like fruit left in a desk drawer. The toll here is existential. You did not leave college, commissions, field exercises, and early leadership behind just to become an email-powered clerk in camouflage. But that is exactly what happens to a lot of you. Lieutenant Colonel, 05. Now you command bigger things or steer bigger systems. Battalion command. High-level staff. Real influence. Real blast radius. The pay is strong. The status is strong. The risk is stronger. At this level, one scandal can vaporize decades. One toxic climate report. One dead soldier under bad circumstances. One mishandled investigation. One affair. One DUI you should have caught. One memo. One photograph. One lie. This is the rank where careers become glass. Expensive glass. Decorated glass. Still glass. You live under permanent evaluation, not just whether you can lead, but whether you can survive scrutiny. Colonel. 06. Now you are deep in the bloodstream of institutional power. Brigades, giant staffs, policy influence, strategic consequences. The money is very good by ordinary standards. The cost is that ordinary life is basically over. Your calendar belongs to the Army. Your phone belongs to the Army. Your image belongs to the Army. You do not just solve problems anymore. You manage narratives, and at this altitude, the Army becomes a political organism, smiles with knives behind them, professional courtesies masking career warfare. Everybody polished, everybody hungry, everybody pretending loyalty while calculating angles. The physical toll may ease a little. The paranoia does not. Chief Warrant Officer 1, W1. You want to talk about another ladder inside the ladder? Here it is. The warrant track is where specialists go to become technical royalty, but the crown is welded to a toolbox. As a W1, your pay is decent, sitting somewhere between senior enlisted and junior officers depending on time and service. Your real currency is expertise. People expect miracles from you. Systems broken? Fix it. Aircraft down? Fix it. Networks dead? Fix it. Nobody else understands the problem? Congratulations. It is yours forever. You are respected for what you know, which sounds better than being respected for rank. It also means the machine comes hunting every time something expensive starts bleeding. Chief Warrant Officer 2, W2. Now you are real, certified, trusted, relied on. The money improves. So does the workload. You become the person commanders consult when they want truth without decoration. That is dangerous. Institutions love expertise until expertise becomes inconvenient. The toll is mental fatigue, constant problem solving, constant demand, constant expectation that you can keep old equipment, bad plans, and impossible timelines from collapsing. You are not climbing out of the grinder. You are just getting better tools while standing in it. Chief Warrant Officer 3, W3, you are the ghost in the machine now. Senior technical expert, trainer, advisor. The person people call when things are weird, expensive, or on fire. The pay is strong. The burden is stronger because there are fewer people above you who truly understand what you do. This creates a particular loneliness. When everybody depends on your judgment, there is no one left to hand the problem to. Chief Warrant Officer 4, W4. You are rare now. The kind of specialist whose value is obvious only when everything breaks at once. The compensation is very good. The cost is decades. Decades spent becoming so useful that the institution cannot quit you. The toll is weariness. Deep, old weariness. You have seen programs fail, commanders rotate, doctrine change, and the same old nonsense come back wearing fresh language. You know the Army does not really solve problems. It repackages them and salutes. Chief Warrant Officer 5, W5. This is the technical summit, the 1% mechanic priest, the institutional memory with a pulse. You are paid well, respected heavily, called constantly. At this level, you are not just an expert, you are infrastructure, a living patch over the cracks the Army never truly repaired. People think top-tier specialists enjoy peace. No, peace would require being forgettable. And you are unforgettable precisely because the system is fragile. Brigadier General. '07. Now you enter the air where careers smell like politics. 1 star, huge pay, huge perks, huge target on your back. You oversee formations, resources, priorities, optics, less dirt under your boots, more blood hidden inside decisions. You are no longer close to the ordinary soldier's day, but your choices still roll downhill and hit them like loose concrete. At this level, power is abstract. You move budgets, approve priorities, shape climates, end careers in rooms with coffee and carpet. The toll is moral distance. The farther you rise, the easier human consequences become numbers. That is how institutions keep moving. They turn pain into metrics. Major General. '08. 2 stars. Now the machine expects you to think in systems, not people. Your compensation is excellent. Your life is not yours. Everything is visibility, appearances, messaging, strategic alignment, interagency coordination, congressional eyes somewhere in the dark. You are too senior for honest mistakes. Every error becomes a story. Every story becomes risk. Paranoia becomes professionalism with better posture. Lieutenant General. '09. 3 stars. This is empire management. You oversee core-level influence, major commands, giant staffs, giant consequences. You exist inside national strategy now, where bad assumptions can cost billions and perfect language can hide disaster for just long enough. The money is almost irrelevant. Your incentives are legacy, access, and survival. At this altitude, everybody is smart. Everybody is polished. Everybody has spent a lifetime learning how to sound certain while standing on uncertainty like cracked ice. You are not escaping pressure. You are becoming pressure. General 010, 4 stars. This is the top of the visible pyramid. The rank people imagine as pure power. They are wrong. This is where your life disappears completely. You do not have a job anymore. You have a permanent collision between military reality, political appetite, international risk, media scrutiny, and history waiting with a knife. Your compensation is elite by military standards, sure. Your cost is total exposure. One failure can stain wars, presidencies, alliances, and generations of names beneath yours. Everybody below imagines you control the system. But at the top, you finally see the ugliest truth. No one controls it. They manage it, feed it, dress it up. Push the burden downward and call it duty. That is the Grand Army's secret. The private thinks the sergeant is powerful. The sergeant thinks the officer is powerful. The officer thinks the general is powerful. And the general knows everybody is trapped inside the same machine, just in different seats. So your life as every U.S. Army rank does not become more free as you climb. It becomes more expensive. At the bottom, you sell your body. In the middle, you sell your time. At the top, you sell your name. And the Army pays in rank, benefits, ceremony, and identity, enough to keep the ladder crowded. Enough to keep you believing the next promotion will finally make sense of the sacrifice. It will not. Because the machine is not built to make your life easier. It is built to keep functioning, with or without you. And that is the part the commercials never mention. So step out of the uniform for a second. Take a breath. That was the harsh reality behind the rank structure, turned into an immersive ride through the system. What rank do you think has the worst deal in the entire Army? And which one do people romanticize the most? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe if you want more grim, second-person dives into power, hierarchy, and the systems that chew people up for a living.